Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. Since ancient times, beauty often meets a tragic fate. Who will pity the fragrant soul now perished? This lament from classical Chinese poetry reveals the sorrowful fate endured by many beautiful women in ancient times. They may have possessed enviable looks, but beauty not only made them the center of attention. It also often brought endless troubles and suffering. If we look back at the widely known four great beauties in Chinese history, we find that these women, whose beauty could topple kingdoms, almost never met with a happy ending. Some were labeled as the cause of a nation's fall. Some sacrificed their entire lives for their country. And others became the subject of mockery in the eyes of later generations. Yet among these beauties with tragic destinies, one seems to stand out: Xi Shi. Although she too paid a heavy price for the greater good of her country, her story seems to carry a hint of warmth. Legend has it that after fulfilling her mission, Xi Shi retreated from public life with Fan Li, the man who loved her deeply, drifting together on a boat across West Lake, and starting a carefree and secluded life, an ending that appears almost idyllic. But is this seemingly happy ending truly what happened in history? With the discovery of Fan Li's tomb in Jiangsu, a corner of the truth behind Xi Shi's story seems to have been unveiled. It is now possible that people have misunderstood her fate for over 2,000 years. According to historians, Xi Shi, also known as Xi Shi, was originally a young girl who washed silk by the stream. She was extraordinarily beautiful, like a goddess descended to earth. Her melancholic expression and the gesture of Xi Shi clutching her heart moved countless hearts. Because of her stunning appearance, she was chosen to become part of Yu's political scheme. At that time, the state of Yu had just been defeated by Wu. King Goujian of Yu endured humiliation and focused on strengthening his country, waiting for a chance to restore it. He accepted the advice of his strategist Fan Li and sent Xi Shi to Wu to seduce King Fuchai of Wu with her beauty, hoping that he would indulge in pleasure and neglect state affairs. According to legend, Xi Shi and Fan Li were lovers who, for the sake of their country, had to part ways. Xi Shi resolutely went to the enemy state, bearing the heavy responsibility of restoring Yu with her delicate form. After some time, Fuchai indeed fell for Xi Shi, and gradually stopped attending to state matters. Eventually, the state of Wu weakened, and Yu made a powerful comeback, achieving a complete victory. At this point, the story seems to head toward a beautiful conclusion. However, there are many conflicting accounts of Xi Shi's ending. One version claims that after completing her mission, fearing suspicion and possible harm from King Goujian, she chose to end her life by drowning, preserving her honor. Another version believes that she faked her death and quietly reunited with Fan Li. Together, they sailed across West Lake, escaping the chaos of the world and living a free and happy life. From these tales, Xi Shi appears to be a woman of both talent and beauty, with remarkable resilience. She gave up love and freedom for her country. Yet in the end, she seemed to reunite with her beloved. Her story is gentle and moving, even more enchanting than the legend of the cowherd and the weaver girl. Thus, Xi Shi's tale has been passed down through generations, becoming not only a historical romance, but also deeply shaping later views on love, loyalty, and sacrifice. Many admire Xi Shi's beauty, respect her patriotic sacrifice, and hope to find a partner as deeply devoted as Fan Li. Someone who would stand by them through all hardships, never abandoning them. However, history is not always as romantic as folklore. As scholar Yi Zhongtian once said, there are two faces of history: one is historical truth, the other is folk memory. What most people remember is often the touching image painted by later generations, while the complex and hidden truths of history remain forgotten under the dust of time. According to historical records and the discourses of the states and the spring and autumn annals of Wu and Yu, Xi Shi was originally an ordinary woman from Shizuan, West Village, in the state of Yu. She was chosen for a national mission due to her extraordinary beauty. From these records, there is no concrete depiction of any romantic relationship between her and Fan Li. Even in the Yu Ju Shu, it only mentions that the state of Yu employed the beauty trap strategy against the state of Wu, stating, she was offered in beauty to wear down his will. This was simply a political tactic. Fan Li, following the plan, searched across the country for beautiful women, training them to get close to the king of Wu, Fu Chai. There is no mention of emotional ties between them. Rather, it reflects more of a superior-subordinate task assignment. Sima Qian, in his records of the Grand Historian, Shiji, also references related events. But he does not mention any love story between Fan Li and Xi Shi. He merely records that, after Yu achieved revenge and victory, Fan Li departed by boat with riches, without any mention of whether Xi Shi accompanied him. From this, we can see that the popular tale of deep love between Xi Shi and Fan Li, retreating together into seclusion, was likely a later romantic embellishment, a folk legend born from people's longing for love, rather than historical fact. Even more shocking is that, in 2004, at a tomb site in Hongzhang town, Wuxi, Jiangsu province, archaeologists discovered the remains of what appeared to be Fan Li's tomb, and unearthed a batch of bamboo slips dating back to the late spring and autumn period. Among these slips was a passage that sparked great attention. Li had secret relations with Shi. 3 years later she was sent to Wu, with a person named Unearthed used as a pledge, forcing Shi to comply. This statement means that Fan Li had a private relationship with Xi Shi. And only after 3 years did he send her to Wu, while using someone named Unearthed as a hostage to force Xi Shi's obedience. Many researchers believe that Unearthed may have been Xi Shi's child, leading to two major interpretations. First, that Xi Shi may have already had a child, but gave up everything for Fan Li, while Fan Li showed no emotional attachment, using her child merely as a bargaining chip to achieve his goals. Second, that Unearthed may have been the child of Fan Li and Xi Shi. Yet even so, Fan Li still used their son as leverage to coerce Xi Shi into going to Wu. Either interpretation is deeply chilling. There was no real love between Fan Li and Xi Shi. It resembled more of a cold, transactional arrangement. To Fan Li, Xi Shi may have been nothing more than a tool for achieving strategic goals. Even their child was reduced to a pawn. Thus, Xi Shi's sacrifice may not have been voluntary, but rather the result of being unwillingly drawn into a grand political scheme. This so-called love becomes nothing more than an illusion when placed against the truth of history. For this reason, many historians believe that Xi Shi has been misunderstood. Her story is not a romantic and touching love legend, but a true episode steeped in tragedy. Xi Shi was likely a woman chosen by the state, forced to carry out a special mission, and later used by those around her, even to the point of sacrificing her own family for her country's cause. Xi Shi may have truly loved at some point, but reality did not allow her to live a life just for herself. She loved, yes, but paid too high a price, not only her freedom and emotions, but possibly even her child's safety. If all of this is true, then Xi Shi's fate is genuinely heartbreaking. In fact, Xi Shi is not alone. The fates of all the 4 great beauties of ancient China are similarly filled with sorrow. Wang Zhaojun, for example, was sent beyond the Great Wall in a marriage alliance, leaving her homeland and sacrificing her emotions for the sake of national interest. Although she once had a chance to return, she was ultimately abandoned for political convenience, and died alone in a foreign land. Yang Guifei, Yang Yuhuan, experienced a similar destiny. Originally just an ordinary woman, she became a symbol of power due to the emperor's favor. But when turmoil struck the Tang dynasty, she became the scapegoat. A target of blame pushed into the spotlight. Her life was abruptly ended by a mere strand of white silk, leaving behind nothing but endless sorrow. According to many historical scholars, the feudal era was far from the romantic vision many hold today. It was a society ruled by hierarchy and devoid of human rights. In that world, emotions were never the main narrative. Only power and strategy mattered. Beautiful women were either loved or used. And even the most stunning of them could not escape the fate of becoming a sacrifice. If we truly yearn for love, then we should cherish the modern world we live in today. Here, love is more equal, more free. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.